Yeah, Alphonso Davies, if there's a guy that you thought Canada could count on in a big moment, you thought it would be in him. What did you think of him tonight? And then maybe big picture, his performance.
He had a tough tournament.
Really?
He had a tough tournament. He didn't impact the ball going forward. I think a lot of us were expecting, Alphonso, when he's in full flow at Bayern Munich, and he then has space to overlap and run, and there's something special there. I never really saw him get out on the run at any time during the tournament. And then even multiple times, we were talking about Di Maria makes a run, and then you think, oh, okay, the reason they didn't pass him the ball was because Alphonso Davies is there, and he's just going to chase him down. But then the first goal, or right before the first goal, Di Maria makes a run, comes over the top. There's then miscommunication between Alphonso and the center back, and then a great ball comes in, and I think Messi misses a shot. But it's just like, it just was not what I expected, because we expect a very athletic side in Canada, and the most athletic being Alphonso Davies, and being tipped to be the best player in CONCACAF. And I don't know if it's, I want to go to Real Madrid, am I staying but it just looked like something else was in his head, and it just wasn't a clean performance in any of the matches.
Go ahead, Herc.
No, we always talk about how it is a player's stock improve with the tournament. This was one of those tournaments for Alphonso Davies where if you're Real Madrid, you're thinking, wait a second, what are we getting here? Because Real Madrid goes for the best players in the world in those positions. Alphonso Davies did not look like one of the best players in the world in this tournament.
Is that down to him or how he was deployed, you think?
Deployed in how? He's a left back. He's playing in a left back position. You're a left back in a left back position, scanning the whole field, the field in front of you. You should be able to make a pass. You should be able to dribble out of the back. Now, listen. We'll get into the fields, and they were atrocious. As bad as they can be, this is embarrassing for CONCACAF, this is embarrassing for CONMEBOL, this is embarrassing for a country that's going to host the World Cup.
A stadium that's going to host the World Cup.
A stadium that's going to host the World Cup. It is an embarrassment. But Alphonso Davies had some good fields. Alphonso Davies had some moments where he could prove that he's a good footballer, and he was nowhere in between. As Case was alluding to, I don't know if the not knowing of where he's going to go, the uncertainty of his club situation was weighing heavily on him, but he looked a shadow of himself. This was a player that we weren't just talking about being the best player in CONCACAF, we're talking about being one of the best in this position in the world. Today, this tournament, he didn't look it.
Can I just tell you that I am not surprised? Not surprised, because if you follow Bayern Munich and Bundesliga,
nobody follows it like Bundesliga.
Available on ESPN Plus, by the way. Derek Ray would get really mad if I didn't say that. Available on ESPN Plus, Bundesliga.
But what?
Exclusively on ESPN Plus.
Ollie, what's the German word for that?
Available? Don't quite have it in my vocabulary just yet, but I'm working on it. No, here's the thing. If you have seen Alphonso Davies play this season with Bayern Munich, the truth is that he hasn't been in that full flow that you're talking about, Casey. And it's been for a while that he hasn't been at that level. And so I think so many times we associate players to past performances and expect that that's what they're going to deliver. And you certainly think, or would think, that that would be the case with Alphonso Davies. And because he is the team captain and because he is the flag bearer, the poster child for Canadian football, that indeed, he would show up in this sort of moments. But he was never, ever, certainly in this game, a presence in the attack for Canada. And why is that important? It's because he is a guy that with athleticism, with speed, when he gets around that corner, when he opens up into that space and exploits that space, it makes this team exponentially more dangerous and more difficult to defend. And it makes this team, I think it actually elevates players around him, because now you have a team that is getting on that track meet, that is getting on that running back and forth that they do so very well. And if you were to point out something that Argentina did very well today, is control the pace of the game and the rhythm of the game. They only got in trouble when they started turning the ball over in the second half. But for the majority of the match, we're going to slow it down when we want to, and we're going to speed it up when we want to. Not when Canada wants to run. We'll run when we want to run. Alphonso Davies never impacted or affected this match.
Can we